What's up, Slick Dealers? This video is about school supplies, and before we get started, we've broken the video down into sections, so if you want to hear the advice on a specific product category, click on the section you want to view below. That was nice, right? Nice enough for you to smash that like button? Maybe even subscribe, huh? Cool. Summer break is almost over and the kiddos will be headed back to school very soon. And that means shopping for school supplies. And boy, oh boy, what a crazy time that is. I recently went to Walmart and they have rollback sales on a lot of school supplies. It was overwhelming. The first question I had is, why are there so many dry erase markers on sale? Do schools require kids to buy these now? I did a little back to school shopping myself to see what advice I could offer parents and students looking for the best value on supplies, and wow, that was tough. So I grabbed options for all the major school supplies to provide my best advice as a deal expert. Here's how I'm gonna break it down. We're looking at cheap versus expensive, where you should splurge, where you should save, and that goes for all major school supplies. Let's start with where to shop. As I mentioned before, Walmart is currently offering rollback prices on a lot of school supplies, and I would recommend shopping there if you're buying for a smaller number of people, like 1 to 3 kids. 4 or more, maybe consider a discount club like Costco or Sam's Club for certain items you want to buy in bulk. But generally speaking, Walmart is offering the best prices across the board for almost all school supplies, and that's even without the rollback in effect. Okay, here's what you want to buy in bulk. Pencils, pens, and paper. Unless you're going to some strange boutique offering hand-cut college ruled notebook paper, you probably don't have a quote-unquote premium option. Well, there is reinforced filler paper, which basically has plastic reinforcing the holes right here, but most students aren't gonna have any use for that. So your choices here are on cheap versus expensive, and that falls mainly on quantity. 150 sheets at 82 cents versus 500 sheets at $2.64. Now, overall, that means you're only saving about 10 cents when you're going with the 500 sheets, but a student is also going to use all of this. Also, don't shop online on Amazon for paper. Go to a physical store. Loose leaf paper on Amazon is crazy overpriced, just saying. Walmart is gonna have the cheapest prices overall on loose leaf paper. I checked out Target, Office Max, Staples. This is the cheapest you can find. Next up, we're gonna be talking about pencils. There's so many different brands of pencils. These Ticonderogas, for instance, this 24 pack, we got for $3.97 on rollback. But I would say avoid wood pencils at all costs and go for mechanical, to be honest. They're easier, less messy, and you don't have to worry about having and losing a pencil sharpener. The only thing worse than not having a pencil is having a broken one and no pencil sharpener. Am I right? This sharpener, by the way, was 47 cents. It is a pen and gear. And even more detailed on the mechanical end, try to get a thicker lead, at least 0.7 millimeters, because that is less likely to break. These are my personal favorite pencils. Papermate Sharp Writers. You can pick yourself up a 6-pack for $1.97 at Walmart or a 36 count for $9, and they will last you. The only thing about these that stinks though is that on rare occasions, the lead inside will snap, rendering them useless. But aside from that, they have great erasers, a smart, easy to use design, and are comfortable to hold. My actual recommendation though is for a set of these Bic pencils, a 40-pack for $5.97, and I believe I paid less than $2 for this 12-pack. With pens, I like to splurge and go for a slightly higher end pen like a Uniball. 2 reasons for this. I'm careful with my pens, and I'm a lefty. Lefties cannot use gel pens, and lefties also don't like pencils, but you gotta have pencils for math, so sucks to suck. These Pilot G2s cost $5.62, but they are a gel pen, and even though it says quick drying, their ink does not dry fast. So I would recommend getting something more like a Sharpie pen. These write so well, have like instant dry ink, and last a pretty decent amount of time. And this was $3.33 for a 2-pack, which I know is a little pricey, but again, they last well. And if you're the parent of a lefty, just don't get your kid a gel pen, please. But honestly, I can't really say that these cheap Papermate Write Bros don't do the job. And at $5 for a 12-pack, they're definitely the better value. Bic also makes good cheap pens that last a pretty decent amount of time. Just keep your pack in a cool, dry place so the extras don't get stale and dry up. That is a problem that you tend to see with cheaper pens like this. Let's get into art supplies for the kiddos. You know, for a lot of art supplies, I tend to lean towards the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So for glue, if you have the choice, go for a stick over liquid glue. Safer, cleaner. This Elmer's glue was only 50 cents on rollback, but a 2-pack of Elmer's glue sticks cost the same. You can get a little wild and splurge on glue sticks, which is unnecessary. For instance, this 4-pack of glue sticks by Crazy Art cost $2.94, and this 12-pack cost $4.47. Who needs 12 glue sticks? I mean, besides a family of 20 or someone who might need to apply the glue to their hands so they aren't losing everything, no one ever needs to buy a 12-pack of glue sticks. And also, these are scented, which is confusing to me because they look like a tube of chapstick. Mango pineapple, watermelon, chocolate brownie. What's going on here? I can only feel for the poor souls with loathing parents who apply this glue to their lips and soon thereafter find themselves unable to speak or breathe. They aren't tongue-tied, they are lip glued. Moving on. Crayons and color pencils. I grabbed Crayola and Crazy Art for both, and the Crazy Art brand is a lot cheaper here. A quarter versus 50 cents. And then with the color pencils, you have $1.97 versus $2.97, and they are essentially the same product, so I say get Crazy Art. Also, a 24-pack is plenty. There's no need to get your kid a 150 crayon or pencil set unless they are exploring art as a potential career path. At 7 years old, didn't think so. Measuring devices for the maths. Okay, this can get a little spooky. Compasses, for instance, how are these things still allowed in school? When I was a kid, I remember thinking, even with a plastic compass, that I was carrying a deadly weapon. Like, knives aren't allowed on campus, but this thing is. And God forbid you go for one of the metal ones. It looks like a torture device. Screams of danger. Jokes aside, $1.97 versus $4.24. So just go with the plastic one. Same for rulers, my friends. How are these wooden rulers still legal in California? I feel like I'm holding a shank right now because this little metal piece on the top is a straight up razor blade. Wooden rulers are cheaper at 25 cents for this one, but it's also dangerous, so heckin' watch out. Maybe go for one of these bendy, durable rubber options that's just a bit pricier at $1.14 and much safer for your kid and their classmates. This is a section where I would say it's okay to splurge. Highlighters. Should you go with the old school thick boys or a more new age design? Well, these were both priced exactly the same, so I would say get the new ones because mainly in my experience, they last a little bit longer and are slightly more consistent in their highlighting distribution. And if your kid has a backpack with those neat little pin holders, these will fit nicely into those as well, hence more difficult to lose. I also saw these erasable highlighters, and I hear these Pen and Gear specifically work pretty well, unlike some other brands, but at $3.97 for this pack, I think it's an unnecessary expenditure. Let's move on to notebooks. This one subject Pen and Gear notebook is super cheap at only 35 cents. A 5-star one subject comparatively costs $2.47, which is crazy because 5 stars 2 subject is on rollback right now for less at $1.97. Sure, it's cheap, but it has a cardboard front and it gets the job done at only 35 cents. If you need a multi-subject notebook, this Exceed 5-subject notebook is only 23 cents cheaper than the 5-star at $4.74 versus $4.97. Quality-wise, they're both the same with a durable plastic front, so I'd call that a toss-up, and you might opt for the name brand here. If you don't need a multi-subject notebook though, specifically, just get a few of these and save money. Composition books. The main difference between a notebook and a composition book is that these notebooks tend to have paper that you can actually tear out, whereas a composition book doesn't offer that. I picked up 2 composition books, a Pen and Gear and a 5-star. At 88 cents, this Pen and Gear is much cheaper than the 5-star, which is $3.27. What are you paying for here? A durable plastic cover. Not worth it in my opinion, not for a composition book. Exceed makes a mid-range comp book, for the record, out of plastic at less than $2. So if you feel like you really need a hard plastic durable cover for a comp book, go with the Exceed over this one. Folders. Cheap versus expensive here for me is paper versus plastic. 97 cents versus $1.47. And I say get plastic. These folders see a lot of wear and tear, and a plastic one is gonna last a whole school year, maybe even longer. The only thing I will mention about the plastic folders is make sure that you check inside before you buy them, because you might not get the paper holders in the middle, and that seems to be a lot more common with plastic folders. This is what I'm talking about here specifically.
Teacher, will you teach me a lesson?
Sure, Jimmy. Let's talk about which binder to buy. Now, I'll say this, binders and paper and stuff are probably a lot less common now that kids are carrying laptops around, but you might still need a binder, and here's the best advice I can give on value. Don't get one of these crap shrink-wrapped cardboard binders. Heavy duty, that's a joke. These things fall apart after like 2 months, and this Avery was the most expensive option out of all the ones that I bought at $4.88. That's crazy to me. Go for a hard plastic folder. My favorite here was actually the cheapest that I purchased, this Pen and Gear, for only $2.94. And it comes with dividers, a folder, and a plastic ruler. I tend to prefer binders with a top and bottom button though, so that comes in clutch in my opinion. Though I will say this Exceed is really nice with only one lever. At $3.47, I would consider splurging just for how nice this binder mechanism feels to me. To open and close, it's just really satisfying. Finally, I grabbed this whiteout for $1.88. Not super necessary, but there were multi-packs available, and I say avoid those. You don't need 20 whiteout tape rollers. One should last you the entire school year. Same for any other supply I didn't cover. If it comes in bulk options, but I didn't even cover it in this video, you probably don't need bulk quantities. Like Expo markers. For real. If your kids need them, I say get a 2-pack like this, which was only $1.97. Or you could get a Pen and Gear set like this, which was only $1.27, though some reviews of these say that they dry out fast and the ink isn't very dark on the board. Qualitatively, I don't know if I can actually recommend an off-brand for dry erase. Expos are always gonna be the way to go. But seriously, a jumbo pack like this, I think they're selling these to teachers realistically. And at $7.97 for this pack, let's hope your students aren't thieves or have hands that are covered in chapstick. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found some of it helpful and useful. Please subscribe for more ways to save, and look out for our next video where we're gonna be going over some of the most popular backpacks on the market and what to look out for. I'm Pete King, and if you paid full price, you weren't really trying.